Hey, this is John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. Today we're taking a look at the G.O.A.F. That is the Golden Order of Alchemist Fuzz by Massive FX. I'll tell you all about this pedal after I tell you about how we're recording it. I'm plugging my Les Paul Standard right into this bad boy. It is presently being powered with a 9-volt battery, although you can use the power source of your choice. We're running it into a Fender Supersonic amp. We're in the clean channel right now, but we're going to go into the dirty channel later on. We are micing with the Royer R121. That's about a foot or 10 inches off the speaker. That's running into Apache Quartet and into Pro Tools. So basically, guitar, pedal, amp. Now here's our bass tone, clean. And here's our bass tone we're going to do dirty later on. So it kind of gives you some idea of where we're going. The starting point of the G.O.A.F. is the legendary Burns Buzz Around, which is a fuzz used by Robert Fripp in the 1970s. It's estimated there's only 50 original Burns Buzz Arounds in existence today, and they sell for upwards of $5,000 to $10,000. So well out of the reach of most of us. So what they did, they started with a hand-wired, loving tribute to this, but they've extended on that and made some cool improvements. And I'll kind of tell you about them right now. So the G.O.A.F. is really two pedals in one. On one side you have the fuzz, which is great, and we'll get into that, but let's start with this octaver over here, which can be used independently of the fuzz. Now this is, you've got on-off, that's it. No controls, it is what it is, but it is a great weird tone. Using it on the clean setting, you can get something almost like a weird Jack White kind of. So again, total weirdo effect. Now I'll make the amp dirty and it really kind of sings. I mean, I love that. So very cool to have that. And I like the fact that there are no decisions to be made. You can turn it on or turn it off. No tweaking, which is perfect for a caveman like myself. Now let's get into the more complex, nuanced fuzz over here. So they started with new old stock, let's see, an AC 125 and 2 Russian germanium transistors. So that's getting, the thing about these components is there's sort of a ghost in the machine in them. You don't know what they're going to do. There's some kind of slop in the wheel, and that's great. I think the appeal of a lot of vintage gear is because they were still sort of working out the details in the pre-digital age that you don't know what they're going to do. You know, sometimes you get these weird farty sounds. Sometimes it sounds like it's going to blow up. All this stuff is great, which gets us to the controls up here. Now, these sort of Illuminati type controls, I think their point is if they just tell you what it is, then you're going to go on what you're reading rather than what you're hearing. But as it is, you kind of just have to tweak and listen. And here's where the magic really comes in. Each control sounds a little bit different depending on what the other controls are doing. So it's all interrelated. I really like these Massive FX guys. They were founded in 1666 in an obscure, I think, Eastern European cult, and have perfected this alchemy over the ages. So it's a lot of fun for the experimental types. So right over here, this is essentially our volume. And a lot of these old fuzzes didn't really have a volume control. And in fact, sometimes you'd hit on an old fuzz and it would get quieter. Sometimes it would just be on stun all the time. I love the fact that you can actually tweak this as needed. So let's start with that. Just where I had it set coming in. And then with a dirty amp, it's amazing how different that is. Like on the clean amp, it's got all that kind of high buzz, but put some dirt underneath it and suddenly that all goes away. I don't know why. I'm not sure anybody knows why. And again, it's counterintuitive, but it's cool. It just kind of part of the whole art project, seeing where it goes. Now if we jump to the other side of the pedal, this is the Alchemist symbol for lead, because things get a little heavier as you engage that. This is the amount of fuzz and sustain. So make it pretty subtle down there. And as we tweak, it's like having a sustainer on your guitar. Very cool. And again, you're just going to have to tweak season to taste. Over here, this crescent moon is balanced, which is essentially a bias for the fuzz. The mids are going to get a little more extreme past noon and a little less as you go the other way. And again, it's affected a lot by how you have your sustain set. So let's just twist that a bit and see what we get. Love that, really deep and rich. So it's really interesting how it affects the volume. They're all interrelated. To me, my money's like right there. I love that. I mean, how trippy, dippy, hippie is that? That just sounds like, I don't know. It is a great classic tone. Next to it, we have the timbre, tone, or attack knob. And its symbol is the Alchemist symbol for tin. And Massive FX warns, they say, the knob is associated with Jupiter, so be aware of excess and overindulgence. Well, that clears it all up. Let's just spin it and see what it does. You know, really, this pedal has just some massive tones in it, man. It's really fun, and I like the fact you never know what you're gonna get. It is alchemy. It's one part science, one part art, one part ghost in the machine. Now, again, there's huge variations in volume, but that's not so much a problem. I think if you're in a live situation, you'll probably get your favorite setting preset and use that. In the studio, if that tone you love is a little bit quieter, well, you can adjust in the mix. So I'll just play a bit and tweak some knobs so you can see what it sounds like. man. Now, you heard at some point those massive difference in tone. That's when I hit the change channels on the amp. And it is kind of incredible because, again, our bass tone, here's our overdrive. You know, it's flat, so it's not a huge change on the amp, but man, incredibly different as you put that in front of it. So those are the basics of a very cool pedal by a very cool company. Good on you. Love the alchemy. To read the full written review, go to premierguitar.com. While you're online, make sure you like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our ever-growing YouTube channel. Check out Instagram, all that stuff. I'm John Bolger. Till next time.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on premierguitar.com.